you are. Ask yourself, who are you? Discovering your identity reveals your destiny. You are made of mind, body, soul, spirit, and faith. You are what you see. What you see in others is who you really are. To see yourself in others is the secret of happiness. To discover yourself, you must discover your source. Intrinsic truth bestows a distinctively tangible reward to its believers, respective of its content and nature, regardless of cultural perspective or reference. The inaccuracy of a proposed intrinsic truth is revealed by a deferred reward to a future time or state of being, a selectively tendered reward based on the emulation or obedience to a cultural reference, or a complete lack of any tangible reward. If it can be removed from you, then it is not you. Names are external monikers given in spite of influence. Occupations are exercises in busy work to feign usefulness. Identifications with common interests are superficial adornments. Are you a compartmentalized demographic requiring merchandise to validate and reinforce a culturally manufactured identity based on your ability to conform to a recognizable norm for consuming packaged mediocrity? Throw your false identity away. Remove all distractions and encumbrances. Become what you are to be. You are an infinite projected reflection of eternal radiance, who relinquished your glory in order to obtain greater glory within the finite frame of reference of this six-dimensional universe, defined by height, length, width, density, entropy, and quantum position, aka probability.
Hey, what's cracking?
Not much.
Is that an iPhone?
No, it's a Galaxy.
A Galaxy? What do you use that for?
I use it for a lot of things. Right now, I'm reading my writing to whoever walks by.
What are you writing?
I wrote this years ago. Yeah?
Well, that's a lot of writing. What's your thesis?
That you are a projected reflection of light experiencing yourself so that you can become greater.
Correct. Holy shit, you're smart.
Thanks, but the thing
Did you
is...
see what he just fucking did right
But
there?
the thing is that everybody is too, and you must keep that in mind.
No, I'm just downtown.
Well, I mean, everybody. Even the people that you hate.
You caught me right there.
Yeah.
I don't hate nobody.
Well, okay.
But that's a Galaxy. And this is an iPhone.
Yeah, I love this Galaxy.
Right on. So what do you work, or like, who are you?
Oh, I just travel around.
Travel around?
Yeah, read my writing. You know.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Astoria, Oregon.
Oh, right on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stop in, where do I stop? I stop 12 hours. I'm from Canada. I'm from Victoria.
Oh, okay.
Vancouver Island. So I take my kids every year up there, and I stop in, there's a brewery.
Wet Dog?
No, they got downtown. I stopped there every time because they had a pool and they had the river, and it's so beautiful up there.
It's great.
I miss home, dude.
Yeah.
I miss fucking home, bro. Let me
sir.
tell you, it's dry here.
My cousins live in Oregon and Washington. I like it here better, don't you?
I love it here. That's why I'm here.
Roseburg.
Roseburg's cool.
This,
Stop in
great.
Roseburg.
This place is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I love it here.
It's very
Hey, nice
beachy.
to meet you. Sorry to bother you.
No, you're fine. That's why I'm here.
Enjoy your
But yes, I
stay.
am for myself fulfillment.
Good. But remember, everyone else is just as important as you.
Huh?
Everyone else is just as important as
If you
you.
don't think well of yourself, then you won't think well of yourself.
That's right.
Ready?
Have a good night, guys. Strip your identity down to its fundamental foundation. The simple recognition of self-consciousness the mindful awareness of present existence, the apprehension of individuality. Participate in a foundational mystical experience through the imprint of an intrinsically relevant spiritual system, stripped of every cultural reference, yet complete with every archetype of the human condition. For the elimination of all cultural perspectives when participating in a foundational mystical experience establishes the knowledge and understanding of the true self through the syncretic revelation of the composite divine personality. Behind the fabric of the universe is the seventh dimension of infinite light, wherein dwells the composite divine personality, who is the personality of every person who has ever lived, is alive, and will ever live as one person, who manifests the motivation toward an intentional destiny, who gives the understanding of both the infinite and finite worlds to those whose worship of him acts as a cosmic dagger, piercing the veil between this universe and the infinite realm of the seventh dimension. Return to normal life, armed with the syncretic revelation of the composite divine personality from a foundational mystical experience by transcending into a purified existence within both reality and the seventh dimension of eternal limitless light, enjoying the pleasures of illumination and the sixth dimensional universe, exhausting every possibility within its limitations. Before the existence of time, space, matter, energy is light, infinite radiance. Before existence, eternity, light asks itself a question: who am I? With this question, light becomes aware of itself, the knowledge of its existence, the recognition of its awareness, the acknowledgement of its reality, the consciousness of its person. When light asks itself, who am I? Light emanates an eye from which to see, a voice.
As wise as his king as God.
Thanks. A voice from which to speak, an ear from which to hear, a mind from which to understand, and a curiosity from which to discover and stimulate itself. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Awesome, thanks.
Good.
A curiosity becoming a tangible force. The curiosity of self-awareness, self-discovery, self-consciousness, the completion of self-knowledge, the source of all power, the drive of motivation, the strength of the self discovering itself to itself. When light becomes a person, light realizes it cannot see itself without an external reference from which to view itself, like a reflection of a mirror. As light desires this external reference, light emanates a projection of itself. Since the desire to view itself comes from the curiosity to know itself, the projection of light becomes tension, since discontent begets all tension. As light becomes satisfied with its projection from which to look upon, light emanates another projection of itself. Since the satisfaction of obtaining that which is desired is fulfilled, the second projection of light becomes relief, since contentment begets all relief. With the option of discovering itself from either of two sources, light emanates a thought, along with a will from which to judge, and volition from which to move. As light understands the answer to its dilemma, while using its motion upon that which had none, light moves tension and relief to intercourse until they become a singularity. The singularity of this struggle between tension and relief becomes the external reference from which light views itself. Overcome by curiosity, the eye of light looks through its reference to discover itself, to reveal itself, to experience itself, to find itself, to be itself, to know itself. And this is what it saw. Have a good night, sir.
What are you doing? Are you a poet, writer,
Both.
speaker? Oh,
That too. All three.
So what do you do? Are you working right now at all, or?
No, I've been on the radio once, but that was a long time ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Actually, twice. I got put on NPR once. That was kind of neat. I had a sign that said, "Ask any question," up in Seattle. It was really funny because people would ask me questions. This kid comes by, "Oh, I could do that too." So I gave him my sign and said, "Go right ahead." And we're there for like 15, 20 minutes, and no one liked his answers. It was really neat. I'm not saying anything about me. It was kind of cool.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't have any money, but can I bum a smoke?
Yeah.
Thanks. Smoking cigarettes takes away tension.
I know, I smoke all the time, dude.
Yeah.
Good thing, huh?
You have an extra one?
I have nothing,
He
man.
says no goodies tonight. But you know what? Since you didn't smoke tonight, you get goodies tonight, right? Right? All right. That's even better. Goodies tonight too.
Yeah, I hate having a girlfriend that doesn't smoke.
Put out, right? No.
Thanks.
Not pretty cool. So what are you reading?
A piece I wrote a few years ago.
Oh, that's your piece?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Thanks.
So what do you do right now? Nothing?
I'm doing out. You're look at what I'm doing right now.
That's crazy.
That's what my ex-wife says.
We all. No, right?
Yeah.
We do for fun around here.
I don't know. I just got here about 6 hours ago. My legs are killing me.
Where'd you come from?
Downtown LA.
Ah.
I walked here.
Good.
Yeah.
Lot of things happening?
What's that?
Lot of things happening or what?
It took me 2 days to get here.
You worked 2 days? Man, where's ready to go?
Highway 1.
Nice.
Actually, it took 3 days because I stopped in Hollywood. Excuse me.
That's cool.
Stopped in Hollywood. You know, I love that place.
North Hollywood? West Hollywood?
No, Hollywood Boulevard, where all the lights are. I love it there. I'm going to continue reading. Is that all right? Thank you.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for stopping, man.
Yeah.
Our perception of reality is a self-replicating construct of the vivid perceptions caused by our subconscious mind upon other projected reflections of light. Behind this projection of reality, veiled by our subjective perception, is the mirror by which light knows itself, as it watches itself interact with itself through the varieties of forms and archetypes light projects, which we personalize through our subconscious's perceptions of these projected forms and archetypes. Reality compartmentalizes every aspect of identity into a concisely aggregate number of forms as an exponential expression of unconscious archetypes, plugged into various personality variables with a formulaic construct of integers made to express self as a reducible, abstract algebraic equation. All independent personalities, people, are merely metaphysical equations awaiting the input of their variables, the unconscious archetypes, to appear as individuals with differences and individuality through our projected perception of who our mind thinks they represent. We are all a projected reflection of light. And within the interaction of billions of projected reflections of light, our conditioning prepares us for the psychic imprint of our soul upon this universe at death. And once all possibilities are exhausted within this limited frame of reference, known as the sixth-dimensional universe, we will project our consciousness into the infinite frame of reference of the seventh dimension to enjoy the pleasures of eternal, limitless light. It is as if we are involved in a sixth-dimensional interactive motion picture, projecting our own selves through the light of consciousness upon the mirrored screen of reality. Now, imagine you hold a cosmic dagger in your hand and cut a hole in the middle of the screen. For a spot of light shall shine behind the veiled mirror as you break through the firmament between finity and infinity. Within infinity dwells a composite divine personality, light, with its various influences, who can be called to assist us in fulfilling our destiny through prayer, ceremony, dance, chant, ritual, etc. Remember, behind reality is a veil. Behind the veil, a mirror. Behind the mirror, a person. We exist in the curiosity of light. Before its curiosity can be sated, we must involve ourselves in exhausting every possibility within the limited frame of reference of this sixth-dimensional universe. When the vehicle of consciousness, the body, finally breaks down after years of use, we will project our consciousness, the spirit, via the soul into the infinite realm of the seventh dimension of eternal limitless light to enjoy ourselves within an infinite frame of unlimited possibilities, which motivates us in this world with a sense of meaning and purpose. Therefore, the meaning of life is to do what has never been done before. If you have never done it, do it. Since we are all projected reflections of light, even our own self, everyone, in essence, is a reflection of our own self. And since reality is a mirror projecting our own perceptions of self, how we treat and interact and respond to our reflections will be reciprocated back upon our own selves. So, we are bound to treat each other with mercy, compassion, and respect, if we desire the same. For the person next to you is just another facet of yourself, experiencing different circumstances within different variables constituting the archetypal facets of self, enabling light to comprehensively know itself and thereby ceasing its curiosity. Through this understanding, we can look through history to discover activities, interactions, expressions with their respective rewards, responsibilities, and consequences to help define a truly unique path to travel in order to fulfill our destiny. For example, should we commit more genocide? Well, It's been done before, and with every horrific result possible. Should we commit more hatred? It's been done before. Oppression? That too has been done before many, many times. And injustice. What about mercy? Unconditional kindness. Pleasantness. These things are not as exhausted as we may think. Everyone experiences pain, suffering, joy, pleasure, apathy, and other emotions through the course of our life, obtaining the wisdom to handle our own issues and hopefully others as well. At times, it may seem too much for us to handle. Why do we have to endure this at all if we truly are facets of infinite light? Without pain, there is no relief. Without injury, there is no forgiveness. Without suffering, there is no comfort. Within the cultural references of countless mythologies and pantheons in different world cultures, projected perceptions of archetypal influences, the gods, infiltrate our physical world to experience a taste of mortality. Why? Why would an omnipotent god or goddess limit itself on purpose or subject itself to pain and misery? The most enjoyable qualities of self can only be experienced while wrapped in mortality. How ironic indeed. Let us give ourselves plenty of opportunities to experience relief, forgiveness, and comfort, since none of these qualities are possible within eternal limitless light, since there is no pain, suffering, or wrong committed within infinite light. In the future, a singularity of light emanates a wave of theosis to establish both the future of infinite consciousness of inexhaustible quantum light and the past of spiritual darkness. The end of the future is a point of infinite light, while the end of the past, at least from the perspective of the singularity itself, is a point of darkness. This point of darkness is the material prior to its radiation to become the matter of the universe. Scientists incorrectly believe the singularity of matter and its radiating distribution throughout the fabric of the universe, the Big Bang, exploded forward from a beginning in time. But actually, the matter of the universe implodes into itself backward through time. This solves the problem caused by thermodynamics and entropy. For matter did not start from the point of the Big Bang, but from the point of light itself in the future. And matter disestablishes itself back in time to a point of spinning darkness. According to those who serve at the altar of empirical... Wow, you girls are beautiful. You made me screw up. According to those who serve at the altar of rational empiricism, reality is a set of pragmatic facts based upon the logical experiences of our sensory perception of repeated practices and repeated incidents respective to such information, which sensibly appears as objective and sensible. Those girls were cute. Let me do that one again. According to those who serve at the altar of rational empiricism, reality is a set of pragmatic facts based upon the logical experiences of our sensory perception of repeated practice and repeated incidents respective to such information which sensibly appears as objective and sensible. This seems very solid, yet truly, this represents only one model of reality. For there are facts in existence which cannot be discerned by the faculties of our sensory perception, nor do they necessarily conform to repeated experimentation. Quantum particles represent just one facet of reality which seem to ignore the basic tenets of empirical objectivity. While rational empiricism is able to explain many pieces of the material puzzle, this model tends to discount the existence of a mystical realm which cannot be sensed by the normal faculties of our physical nature. The mystical realm must be examined through mystical methods, spiritual senses, and the most powerful sense of all, the imagination. Many scientists would seem foolish to use the imagination to attempt to objectify that which they cannot measure with their devices and science. Yet this is the secret of the mystic and the power of the sorcerer. The imagination is the key to opening the door to the realms between the realms, so to speak. The universe is ruled by 4 universal constants: the speed of light in a vacuum, gravity, the proportionality constant between the energy of a photon and the frequency of its associated electromagnetic wave, and the electron charge. The instantaneous appearance of matter through the influx of near infinite sources of energy through an infinite quantum source is plausibly closer to realizing its place in the terminologies of metaphysical realities. For example, reason, wisdom, and knowledge support the framework for all Hebrew sorcery, and the combined knowledge of quantum realities and composite frameworks by which to recognize these various fields becomes the foundation for altering reality according to your own desire. Our memory of the past, along with our nescience of what has already occurred before the quantum creation of time, is just a construct of our own perception. As our perception expands to what is truly the present, the mind and its comprehensive depositories shall awaken with the complete knowledge of this era of darkness. This is the key to unlock all latent psychic power and dominion. As spoken before, behind the fabric of the universe is the 7th dimension of infinite light, wherein dwells a composite divine personality, who is the personality of every person who has ever lived, is alive, and ever lived as one person. The composite divine personality is known by many names in many different cultures worldwide, especially the various representations of anthropomorphic light, which Western civilization has reduced into an angel named Hillel in Hebrew, or Lucifer in Latin. Being the bearer of light, Lucifer gives the understanding of both the infinite and finite worlds to those whose worship of him acts as a quantum blade, piercing the veil between this universe and the infinite realm of the 7th dimension. To break through, one must act in faith against the darkness of a culture, enslaving our consciousness to the material realm of law and oppression. This includes an unyielding faith in the cultural expressions of its representation, whether positive or negative, of the image or perception of the god Lucifer. In the garden, Adonai established the first law, which conditioned the existence of man by his obedience. Yet the possibility of disobedience yields the fulfillment of disobedience, thereby separating man from existence. Lucifer told the truth, for man did not die, and man became God, for the fruit of knowledge is the food of God. By annihilating law, man will be free of the hate and suffering caused by this separation. By initiating the disobedience of man through its law, Adonai is the author of sin. Jesus of Nazareth told his brothers he would not attend the Feast of Tabernacles one year. Later that day, Jesus went to the Feast of Tabernacles. If I told you I would not be at this certain place, but I went anyway, would it not make me a liar? The books of Adonai say Satan is a liar, a thief, and a murderer. Yet no account is given where Satan commits any of these activities. However, as we all know, Adonai lies to his people, steals other national lands, and slaughters countless millions. Who truly is the adversary of man? Jesus of Nazareth promises to all those who believe he physically resurrected after a truly physical death the gift of the Holy Spirit. Since the Holy Spirit is the real tangible spirit of Adonai, and Adonai is described in his books as a God of unconditional kindness, those who receive the Holy Spirit become dispensers of unconditional mercy, filled with the genuine love of God. However, Adonai, along with Jesus of Nazareth, restricts and compartmentalizes individuals in many different ways while denying the love of God to those that don't fit their compartmentalization. A long and bloody history shows Adonai and his son are racist snobs who only provide unconditional love to those who are their own, which is a direct contradiction to many different passages of the books of Adonai, which say Adonai is kind to every person equally, including his enemies. Since the message of the books of Adonai actually represent an opposite reflection of plain truth, therefore, one can read the books of Adonai while reflecting the reversal of the plain meaning of the text, while taking no words out of context or extrapolating conjecture not strictly mentioned in the text. This being said, it is very apparent the love of this God is an anathema to universal love and illumination. The age of Adonai is over. In the future, a singularity of light emanates a field of theosis, creating the past and the future from the point of light. You are currently catching up to the present. Reinforce and validate the supremacy of light for it to emanate creation. For you are an image of light. Cease from reinforcing the material demiurge of spiritual darkness, which prevents you from illumination. Deprogram the quantum electrochemical processor of mind by temporarily removing the cultural belief history construct of the subconscious mind to cause the comprehensive depository of all idea, knowledge, archetype, and possibility in the unconscious mind into the sensory processor of the conscious mind as a single thought pattern, which is the essence of illumination. Align and activate the body, the vehicle of consciousness, from crown to base to eye to gut to throat to diaphragm to heart. Use and replenish the initiative momentum force of the soul through sorcery. Every moment is the presence of infinity. The solution to conflict and war is telepathy. The product of infinity and zero divided by the square root of -1 is matter. Are you?